Stonecold crazy sane. If you think you're crazy, you're probably saner than most. By Valerie Lynn. Oftentimes, what some people do not understand is what society might consider to be crazy or schizoid is in fact a very sane and very sound response, coming from a deeply moralistic level within said individual being thus categorized, to preserve what moral sanity or goodness that person may feel to have left after being systematically victimized as children and teens by adults who chose a darker path in the rearing of their progeny. Many times a person adopts an alternate reality or even identity or identities in order to prevent themselves from falling into evil themselves. In truth, most people who carry the stigma and labels of mentally ill or schizoid or schizotypal are attempting, through their delusions, quote-unquote, and or psychoses, quote-unquote, to preserve the very best parts of themselves. Thus, there is always that higher moral imperative which burdens every individual as they strive onwards towards healing and self-actualization in a way that is sound and productive for themselves and those around them. So the next time we are tempted to judge or dismiss someone who might seem a little odd as another one of those, we must remind ourselves what higher and very sane and very morally, spiritually sound force may be at work in them. Goodness or righteousness is not only at work in what we do and or say in its service, but oftentimes good is best served as well through the resistance of evil. In other words, what we do not do and or say, what we refrain from doing and saying. We mustn't make the potentially grave error in misperceiving seeming passivity or facial and or bodily tension or vulnerability in another person as a sign of some kind of weakness or mental imbalance. In most cases, if I am still and silent, even if I am grimacing or gritting my teeth, be rest assured that I am successfully mastering some destructive urge inside of myself in those moments. I assure you, there are always powerful forces at work within every individual, whether they choose sides for better or for worse. Moreover, most of us come to perceive very early on that most of what the world deems insane is in fact at the very true heart of true sanity, lucidity, awareness, consciousness. Also, what Western society often encourages in children, such as daydreaming, having a rich imagination, etc., it pathologizes and distrusts in adults. Nevertheless, all categorizations aside, it helps us to instead focus upon cultivating the only kind of sanity which truly matters when all is said and done in my book, the choice of good over evil.